Hello and welcome to episode 7 in a series of walking guides for the highest mountains in Scotland. Buachaille Etive Mòr is one of the most iconic and easily recognised mountains in Scotland. It stands alone at the entrance of Glencoe, a giant pyramid of a mountain with a face full of cliffs and gullies. To date, Curved Ridge is my favourite way to climb a mountain, and it's a route that I've climbed most often. Curved Ridge is a Grade 2/3 scramble, Grade 1 being the easiest and Grade 3 being the hardest. It's below the grade of rock climbing. There are plenty of good holds, and for a fit and experienced climber you should have no difficulties on the route. I would not recommend this route for a beginner if they're going out on their own. It can be difficult to find a start, although the paths below Curved Ridge are clearer and more substantial than they used to be. The total distance for today's walk and scramble is around 12 kilometres and a total ascent of 1385 metres. The walking time is around 5.5 hours. There is a lay-by and an off-road car park at the start of the walk for Buachaille Etive Mòr. From the car park you walk down and towards a footbridge that takes you over the river Buachaille, and then you'll soon come to the side of a white cottage. You pass that on your left hand side as you go past the cottage, and you follow the path, and then it comes to a fork. If you're wanting to go up Buachaille Etive Mòr by the more common walking approach, you can take the right hand fork at this point, and if you want to do Curved Ridge, as I am, we're going to go to the left. You follow the path to the left. It's for a little bit over a kilometre, and you'll pass a waterfall on your right hand side. The path itself does continue on. It's not shown on the map here, but there is a footpath that continues straight on, so you could miss the turn to the right. The turn to the right and the main path that goes to the right is quite substantial at this point, so it is harder to miss than it used to be. You'll turn to the right, and then you're going to head pretty much straight up towards Buachaille Etive Mòr. There's a lot of scree and rock and some vegetation, heather, etc. And you just make your way up this. And then you're going to come to the first point. The first tricky part in this whole ridge is right here. You need to cross over to the right hand side, and there's quite a steep drop and it looks quite tricky. There are good holds and you just need to take your time, and I'll show that in the time lapse. You then scramble up, some light scrambling, and then you come to some more scree and you have a little bit of a walk, and you're climbing some altitude, but it's not scrambling at this point until you get to here. I'll explain the route in detail later in this video, but you climb up Curved Ridge. At this point I was waiting for a group of 4 to climb up through the crux of the climb, so this is what the satellite is measuring me as I'm waiting around. You climb up to the top of Curved Ridge, and then you'll curve round behind Crowberry Tower. So you're coming round, it's not quite accurate, you come round behind Crowberry Tower, and then you head up a little gully to your left, and then you pretty much go straight up to the top of Stob Dearg on Buachaille Etive Mòr. From here, follow the path. There are a couple of large cairns, and it's quite obvious the route. It's well worn in the rock. You follow the path. I was taking some photographs here, so you can see I went off the route slightly, but follow that path and it takes you to the top of this Corrie. This is Corrie nan Tulaich. Now in the summertime you can head down the Corrie, you just go down. There isn't an actual path, it's hard, it's sort of steps of rock, and you see signs of wear, and then it becomes a sort of gravel path, and then eventually it joins up to a well-made path. And in the summertime it's a really easy route to get back down. You just need to take care, it's quite steep at the top. But in the winter this all fills up and it's very steep, and the snow, it banks out and it can be prone to avalanche. It's quite tricky, and so I've taken the alternative route that I normally take in the winter. I could have went down the Corrie, but I thought I'd show this route. There is a path, it's not as well worn and not as well made as the path that goes down the Corrie, but you follow this on and you work your way down this ridge. And you actually get better views from this ridge because you're on the high point coming down the ridge, when you're in the Corrie you can only see back to the car park, whereas from here you can see Buachaille Etive Beag, which is over here on your left, and Bidian as well. I took some more photographs, had a look over the edge there, so you just follow this down. There's quite a steep edge, but you can walk down quite easily. There's a set of rocks and you can just walk down. There's a bit of a stream there as well. When I got down to this point here, it looked like there was a path that went up this side, so I'm not sure. There might be an alternate route that comes up over here and joins up here. This way was quite easy to climb down. It gets quite steep, and you'll see I've been zigzagging down this piece here, and then you just work your way down, and eventually you join back to the main path, and then follow that back out, and it takes you back down past the cottage, over the bridge, and back to the car park. On this route, I think when I switched my phone on and it was just searching for satellites, I think it thought it was over here to start with, and then once it got itself located, it's brought it back to the car park. So just ignore that branch that goes off there. You'll start the car park around here and just go down there. Here we have the weather report from the Mountain Weather Information Service. Buachaille Etive Mòr is in the West Highlands, and the weather report for tomorrow, it's showing it's going to be a bit breezy in the morning and getting up to 45 miles per hour at some point in the afternoon, and getting really strong in the evening. And it doesn't show much sign of visibility, 20% here. Temperature is much the same as the last few weeks, so in the wind chill down to -10. I had a look at the Met Office weather report for Buachaille Etive Mòr, and it looks a bit more promising. So especially between 10 o'clock and 10 o'clock to sort of 12 o'clock, 10% chance of snow. And the visibility here is very good. So this is at the summit. So it says it should be very good. Winds around, starting off at 20 miles, going all the way up to 40 in the late afternoon, with the gusts around 40 miles an hour. So it is a bit breezy, and I wouldn't want to be up there in the evening, but I'll be down before dark. So I think we'll go and have a look and see how it is on the day. Good morning. I'm here at the car park for Buachaille Etive Mòr, one of the most iconic mountains in Scotland. Car parking is free. There's an off-road car park, and then there's a lay-by outside of the road if you get here early enough. You can only take about 10 cars maximum in the lay-by. The off-road is a bit bumpy. So I'm at the start of the car park just to show how rutted and potholed this bit of road is. If you're going to drive a normal vehicle down here, you need to be very careful. We follow the path down here. It crosses a bridge over there, and it goes to the right by the side of that cottage, and then it goes up a bit, and then you've got a choice. You can go right to go up the main path, which is definitely the easiest way to go up, or you can follow the path to the left. It curves round, and then you get to scramble up the ridge. It's a bit round the corner, we can't see it yet. I'm hoping the Met Office report is the accurate one. Best weather was between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. So it's just after 8:30 at the moment. It normally takes about an hour and a half or 2 hours to go up Curve Ridge. So I'm just coming to the fork in the path. Like I say, you go right to go up the main path, the easiest way up, or you can go left to do Curve Ridge. Found a walkie-talkie somebody dropped in the path, switched it on, managed to talk to the person with the other walkie-talkie in the group, sent them location and text. Maybe if they see this video, they'll subscribe to my channel. Anyway, onwards and upwards. So I'm pretty sure that's North Buttress. I've only climbed that once. It's a brilliant climb, but it is a bit challenging. Some very steep sections, some tricky bits to climb up. But yeah, it gets amazing views. Curve Ridge is just to the left of that. So when you come to this point, you'll see that slab there with the waterfall running over it. It's not much further beyond that where we've got the path, and then we take a sort of right turn to go straight up. And you can see people on Curve Ridge at the moment. I'll zoom in. So that's where I'm going up. Go up where they are, and then you go up that bit to the centre. And then you curve back round. That's the Ranoch wall. I climbed that once. Most difficult climb I've led was on the Ranoch wall. Agag's Groove. So you'll come to a section where you see a nice broad path go off to the right, in parallel to this path that we're on, but we want to start keeping right now and go up that way. If it's the first time up here, this can be quite tricky to make sure you go up the right route. Definitely makes it easier when you can see people ahead of you. So at this point we're going to go straight up. There's a little bit to the right in the centre of the screen here. You navigate up, you don't go as far as that waterfall, and then you go up, and then you can see those people in view. You go up. We're not going up the highest one, we're going up the middle here. So you go up that middle point that's right in the centre of the screen just now. You're going up that ridge. It curves along and curves up that way. There are some sections of loose scree on the way up. I tried to keep off that. One step forward, half a step back. Getting a nice view over Ranoch Moor. You've got the Glencoe ski centre over there. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit. It's been completely calm until now. Looks like weather's coming in round there. So I've just been heading straight up, following this scree path. Sometimes going on the grass at the side to avoid any ice. And like I say, I don't like walking up scree, it's hard work. The path goes up there. You have to be careful because at this point, just coming up, we need to cut across to the right. There's also signs of a path here that goes up to the right. It's at this point We cross over to the right hand side for a little bit. Slightly tricky here. I'll show it again when I get right to the crux at this point. This is the first real sort of climbing scramble bit. It's got a lot of ice in it. You want to follow where that ice is actually, maybe just keep slightly to the right of it and go up and then cross below the green moss there, but that moss is going to be just a little bit above your head, so you take quite a high line. It's usually the easiest way to get across this bit, and then you climb up there. That little bit definitely looked worse than it actually was. If I zoom in, you'll see there are some rocks that are nice for stepping on. They're nice and square, you get a good foothold, so it's not slippy. They weren't filled in with ice, the bits I needed to stand on. I believe I'm coming to the start of the actual climb. That bit just in the middle. Let's climb up that ridge. I'll stop, have a rest, put my walking poles away and I'll start the climb. I'm definitely catching up to those climbers ahead. So for this bit, always make sure you've got a good foothold, you've got good handholds, and if you're not comfortable, change your position, climb around a little bit. This climb's got about 3 or 4 main sort of stages of climbing. So you climb up over this first little scramble, then you have it levels off a bit, then you climb up another bit, levels off, climb up a third bit. There's no really difficult parts in this climb. If you are trying this and you're uncomfortable or you've not got a good foothold or a good handhold, then you just need to move a little bit, probably to the left. You kind of go up just slightly to the left of the main ridge, and if you are struggling, then climb down a little bit, go across one way or the other way. There are good holds all the way up the route. You will eventually come to the crux, and there's no way around the crux. You need to climb up, and it's about 15 feet. It's in the sort of crag in the corner. The holes are okay. It's not great, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but you're not exposed. There's a ledge below you, so if you slip down, you're not going to fall off the mountain. Once you get above that, there's a slightly stretched bit to climb over. Then after that, it's straightforward. As long as you take your time, make sure you've got a good hold, always maintain 3 points of contact, make sure your handholds are secure before you obviously take your weight off your feet, and obviously make sure your foot is secure before you put your full weight on it. If you are a novice climber, then climb with somebody who's experienced and rope up. That's stage 1. Oh, and like I say, your hands get a bit cold. And actually, I think that first bit is the hardest part. I'm pretty sure once you've got up that, the rest isn't as difficult. So it's a good test to see if you can climb this. And where those guys are, that's the crux. There's a little corner there to just where they're standing, right in front of them, to their left as they're facing to the right. There's a little crack up the corner you've got to climb. And that's the most difficult actual climbing bit there. The handholds are not as good as the rest of it. Everywhere else you can get a proper full handhold, you can get your foot over a nice sharp edge of rock so it's not going to slip. Just that bit there is a wee bit tricky. Get a nice view, a little bit overcast and cloudy in places, but we're still clear here. It's a very easy scramble to where they're standing up there. You just need to zigzag slightly. It's like a staircase in the rock. And like I say, where they are right now is the hardest part. It's about a 15-foot climb up in the corner. It's not vertical, it's steep, but you can get, there's cracks you can get your feet into. To record the crux. So the hardest part is past. We go up this ridge, it's not a difficult climb. Once you get to the top there, it flattens off and then it goes back to just being a normal Munro walk. You go up behind that tower there and up to the left. Weather's starting to come in. I'm at the top of Curve Ridge. The walk goes on a little bit. It goes round. You can't see, but it goes behind this bit of rock and in front of that bit. And then it curves up to the left. That's the top of the climb itself. I'm not going to take pictures from the edge. Too much snow. Ranoch Moor. So we've come straight up from the end of Curve Ridge, and now we're going to go up and round behind that point. Once you get to the highest bit between those two pieces of rock, you turn left. We're almost at the top. So that's me just come up that last little gully that fills in with snow. It wasn't too bad. Crowberry Tower. And you can see the climbers that were on Curve Ridge. So that's the top of Curve Ridge. From there you just come up there and then bend round underneath this ledge here, double back, come up here. And then once we get to that rock over there, it's pretty much a straightforward walk up to the top. Probably 1 or 200 metres from here. On the summit of Stob Dearg of Buachaille Etive Mòr. There's just a little bit of cloud. I'm going to stop, have something to eat, see if it clears up. It was only cloudy the last 50 metres or so, maybe 75. Blue sky from the summit. We're getting some nice views. A lot of cloud to mix in with that. Definitely worth the walk. So I'm going to head back down. I'm probably only going to do the one Munro today. I'll just go back down, and I'm not going to go down the main path. I'm going to go down the winter route that I like to go down. It's an easier descent. The main path goes up the gully at the very top. It's very steep, very full of snow, and it's quite treacherous for going down the way. So we're going to go head this way. It gives us a nice circular route back. visibility is not great now, but we're just looking back at the Beag where you come up the main path. If you're doing the two Munros, at this point you go off to the left over there. But as I'm going to go down the easier route, especially in the winter, I'm going to go along this ridge, keeping to the left of it. And there are some steeper bits, you just got to work your way down, but it's nothing like sheer steep. Buachaille Etive Beag over in the cloud there to our left. Just keep following this ridge down. Get some nice views. I think I have to keep left now. I think you turn round to the left and go underneath that ridge you can see in the centre there. I'll just check the map. There's a car park in the distance. So all of Buachaille Etive Beag is clear at the moment. All of the Ranoch Ridge is clear at the moment. So I've come over that ledge that I pointed out a moment ago, and then you come down. It's a little bit zigzagging, and I think at this point we want to aim for that cottage. So we're going to go down there, I think. I'm going to go over there and have a look. I'm pretty sure you go down that way, and then it's like just quite a big gully, big wide. Not it's steepish, but it's not too steep. Now if you went down the quarry on the main path, you wouldn't get to see any of this. And I think we've got the best views of the day now. So I went where I said, round to the right from that last video clip, and now this is where you want to be. You just we'll cross over a bit, and then you kind of go down the middle. You will see a path, and I'm not sure. It looks like there is a path that goes up that way and goes around this other side. So coming down, I went round to the left. Kind of looks like there is a route round to the right, but I'm not sure. Maybe I would try that on the way up. So we're almost down back to the main path that goes up the quarry and up the gully. Not far now. You have to take your time coming down here. You just need to make sure your feet are well planted. It's not difficult, it's just slow. I think I can see the two men with the dog. So if that's the two men that had the dog, then obviously going down the main path is quite a fair bit quicker. You've just got the steep section with the snow at the top to work around. So that's now made it back to the main footpath. If we look up to the right, there's a staircase. There's bits of it that are a little bit tricky. It splits at one point, and if you keep to the left you'll go down into, walk along the side of the river. That's actually easier, but you have to watch when you go up a few hundred metres, there's another turn back, like a turn back to your right to get back onto the path again. Or you can take the high path, which is just a little bit of scrambling, light scrambling. The main path goes up and to the right, and then it zigzags back to the left up to that point. And that bit can be difficult to come down in snow. It's not so bad climbing up it, and I've got a couple of those short videos on YouTube that show me on the ascent of that. So that was Buachaille Etive Mòr, Stob Dearg via the curved bridge. So it's probably my favourite way of ascending any Munro so far. Still got some to do. But something a little bit different going up Curved Ridge. If you liked the video, please click like. If you're not already subscribed and you'd like to see more, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.